LodgeCasters, welcome to the LodgeCast, the official podcast of Gentleman'sAvenue.com. I'm your host, Mr. M. This is being recorded at the Lodge in Whittier. You're tuned in to the third episode. We have an awesome musician, rapper, actor, Anthony Citric Campos. Today is April 2nd, 2017. Make sure you look for us on our website, gentleman'savenue.com/the LodgeCast. You can also find us on Instagram at the LodgeCast, Twitter at the LodgeCast. So let me give you guys the latest and the greatest. It's been a crazy busy week. Been scheduling. We're looking all the way out to May right now. And of course, how do you fit life into all of that? I mean, as you guys know, it's a one-man gang. There's not a horde of interns from Whittier College right up the street or people just coming alongside. It's me, myself, and I. But that's all right, and it makes it better. It makes everything that I'm doing, the podcast, the film work, and whenever I get to the magazine, we'll get that busted out. But, fitting in life in between that, and this week was kind of crazy because, for me, getting a haircut is totally important. I don't want to sit here and be no damn hippie on TV or the podcast. I want you guys to see, if this guy's going to sit here and write about barbering, grooming, or whatever it is, he doesn't even look like no slob. And so I've been really hesitant to get involved with all these apps. I mean, they have apps for everything. Trust me, my phone quickly started being just all the memory was being hogged up by apps. My life felt like it was being controlled by apps. So my barbershop, American Vintage Barbershop, right up the street here in Whittier, they incorporated technology, and I won't mention the app because I don't want to slam them, but I really hesitated. They said, you know what, if you want to get an appointment, you got to download the app and schedule. You can just click the button. They're trying to tell me and convince me, right? It's so easy to do. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, my life is already controlled by apps. I got an app for this, app for that. So I was like, no, well, I'm going to just continue to text my barber and set up an appointment that way. So I text him one day, and this is about a month ago. I text him and I said, hey, look, I want to come in. So I go into the shop. Everyone's looking at me like, what are you doing here? And he was driving when I text him, but he didn't put the appointment down. So I show up. I'm looking all grungy and just hippied out. And he's like, I can't cut your hair, man. I got this other guy here. He booked on the app, so you can't get a haircut. So, I was totally embarrassed. And it's my fault. It's not his fault. He was doing me a favor by continuing, booking me via text. So I finally gave in and I submitted to the almighty technology and I downloaded the app. First appointment, perfect, right? Scheduled it, looked what time, what do I want, a haircut, scheduled it with the person I wanted. Well, this time I needed a haircut last week and I look and he doesn't have an appointment for 2 weeks. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking at this damn app and I'm thinking, are you kidding me? 2 weeks from now, I need a haircut by Sunday. What am I going to do? So I text him and I did a screenshot and I said, are you kidding me? No appointments? And, I got to hand it to him. Angel Hernandez there at American Vintage. He literally canceled what he had to make room for me. And it's that thing of just trying to adjust to things. It's hard. Change is hard sometimes, especially with technology and, not wanting to, I want to do it the old school way. Either go sit there and wait, walk in, or, just text the guy. But hey, at least I got that done. Okay, so we're announcing that 120 Years the DVD is coming out in May. This has been a labor of love. As you guys know, 120 years. It's a story of two barbers. We got an 89-year-old and a 75-year-old. And they're barbers. It's amazing. These guys get up every day. They swing the shears around and the razor. So we made the DVD. And it's coming out in May. That's really badass for us. And we also have it subtitled in Japanese. That's right. I'm going to put it up on the screen for people to see at home. So like I say all the time it's cool to listen to the podcast, but you want to definitely listen to or tune into the website and watch the vodcast because this is a adapted trailer. And for those of you that are watching it at home, you'll see why it's adapted, and I'll explain a little bit later. So I'm going to play it right now and hope you guys enjoy it.
My name is Fred Kuhn, and I was born February the 27th, 1940. I was born in Lincoln, Nebraska. I came to California when I was 3 months old. I've been cutting hair since 1960, and barbering means to me everything.
My name is Frank Chavez. I was born in 1926 in Vermilion, Oregon. I got my barber license in 1949, and I've been cutting hair ever since. And barbering means to me is like, it's a livelihood for me.
We have I kind of joke around, I say our barbershop's kind of like a family. Randy's that awkward dad that always embarrasses you, calls you Nino. And then you got Chris, the older brother, me, the middle brother, Steven's the younger. And Frank is the grandfather, the father above everyone. He's the one where all the wisdom comes through. If you get anything passed down from Randy, sometimes it probably still came from Frank, you know.
It's amazing to see the talent today. And I have so much respect for these guys.
To have Fred with us is a blessing. And I don't want to think about the day that I won't have Fred along with us, because it would be heartbreaking. It would be devastating for myself to lose a good friend like Fred, to lose a mentor that I have with Fred.
Steering the right way is always up to you. Life has a funny way of using our
All right, so that was the adapted trailer, and it's adapted because what I did was I spliced two of them together. You have our original trailer, and then I showed you guys the Japanese subtitles. I mean, it's really cool. Our distributor is working with us out there, and we even had the film poster that's made by Howling Wolf, a great tattoo artist, and we had that translated into Japanese. So we're super excited to get that out in May. So look out for it, and that'll pretty much conclude what we have going on here in Gentleman's Avenue. And I'd like to introduce our guests. So if Mr. Anthony Citric Campos can join us, he'll be here on set with us. Hey, Anthony, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, man?
Or would you prefer Citric? You tell me what you want me to call you.
I mean, I just tell my people to just call me Citric.
Citric, there we go. All right. Well, you're like 6'2", and man, I'm like pushing 5'9" if I'm like on my toes. So you have a pretty busy day, don't you?
Yeah, a couple of interviews today, so trying to just go out there and promote ourselves and promote the show.
Mm-hmm. And the show that you're on is Lopez, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're in your second season.
Second season. It's crazy. Who would have thought?
Well, who would have thought? And then I'm sitting here thinking, like, who would have thought, you and I'd be sitting here talking, because, I was an avid fan of the show in the first season. It was just like, there was classic lines, grass hole,
Yeah, those guys over there, man, John and Dave, man, they're geniuses when it comes to writing comedy, man. They're just, those guys are good, man. And so, they know, they kind of just pretty much know every aspect to us, so they just write for us, and it's like, it just seems like it's like they just know what we're thinking, so they just write it down. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
So they put the words literally in your mouth.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, and then we just, add a little bit to make it our own, but not too much.
And how did you get hooked on the show? I mean, how did you get onto the show?
Well, originally, I got on because of John Alschuler,
mm-hmm.
and Dave Krinsky. Those are the main writers, also co-creators for Silicon Valley.
Another good show?
Yeah, real good show. Mm-hmm. So, and they do a lot of writing on that too. So,
Okay.
But I had worked on Silicon Valley before on season 1.
Mm-hmm. I
was on one of the episodes on episode 5, and then I knew John prior to knowing, because of Mike Judge.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I really got in, is because of Mike Judge, and then after that, it's how I met John, and I worked on some projects back and forth. So in this, for like I want to say like 2 years, maybe 3 years, we got something in store for you. We're working on something.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to get something going good, but in between, they were hooking me up with other jobs, so
mm-hmm.
so it was cool. And I just like, like I never like expected anything from that. Just like, cool. I'm just happy that they give me jobs and I'm working.
Yeah.
And then when this finally came through, it just they sent me the pilot script, you know, like, hey, would you be interested in? And I'm like, you kidding me, man? It's George, you know, George Lopez.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So when they approach you, I mean, you're thinking that this show appears on what, TV Land?
On TV Land, yes.
And so what went through your mind thinking like, I know you want to work, right? Because it's work.
Yes.
Work is work. And then much less working with people that, you know, you've worked with before in the past, but to go on to this network now, what was that mean? What was going through your head? Like just, vamonos, let's do it? Or?
Yeah, I mean, my first reaction was, let's do this. Then my second reaction was, can I do this? Mm-hmm. Am I really prepared for this? You know, like, this is like something people dream all their life, I guess, you know, like, and I'm really noticing that, like, right now, like, I'm really looking back now and looking at it like, damn, you know, this is really a dream job. Mm-hmm. So I doubted myself, you know, I doubted, you know, I had a lot of doubts. I'm like, man, I don't know if I could do it, but, you know, it is what it is, you know, it's like, let's just do it. And I got, you know, I just got pumped up with it, you know, and so.
No, and I think that doubt is totally something that's natural. I mean, I think if a person didn't doubt, you know, what you're doing. Shoot, I think earlier I was sweating like I was running from the cops or something, you know, just doubting myself in this moment, you know, because, and I think that's good because then it keeps you on your toes, right?
That's right, you know, and a lot of stuff, you know, it's been good so far, the show, you know, and but there's a lot of times where, yeah, even during the season, you know, like when we got season 1, okay, we got done through season 1, and I was like, I looked back and I was like, man, like we actually did it. It was crazy. Like I was able to pull it off. Like I was surprised at myself. I don't know. I just wasn't really, you know, expecting anything. But other than when they told us we got season 2, you know, we're doing that, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, now I'm gonna have to go through it again and see if I can pull this one off. You know?
Yeah.
But it's been good.
The character Manolo. Tell us about the character Manolo, because that's your character in the Lopez show.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Manolo is George's driver and also friend from the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And I'm always overprotective of him, you know, so I'm always looking out for him and trying to be like the voice of reason for him. But at the same time, I really don't know the character. Well, the character Manolo really doesn't know what's going on, you know. He's just living day by day, trying to make it, you know, and living a regular 9 to 5. And then, you know, George brings him aboard. So like everything it's like a whole new world to Manolo. So Manolo don't know what the hell's going on the whole time. So he's just being him, you know, and just basically just happy to be alive.
And out of jail.
And out of jail.
But he was in jail a little bit.
Yeah. You know, but you know, he violated parole.
For George.
For George, yeah.
And you know, when I looking at the show, and I think Manolo, when I look at him, and maybe, you know, I'm totally off key here on this, but, you know, George is a complex individual. He's almost neurotic in this show. You know, he's every thought, he almost says it out loud. You don't have to wonder, I wonder what George is thinking right now. He says it, and Manolo's, you know, kind of like, did you ever see that movie Up?
Yeah.
Remember the little old man? He's all over. His head's somewhere else, and the little boy is really the one that grounds him to the earth.
Like the little boy knows what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't need to sit there and tell him, you know, this crazy, you know, philosophy and all these thoughts. He just, in the way he is, and I don't think it's, you know, I think I've seen some people say, oh, it's, you know, the simpleness of Manolo, and I'm thinking, damn, Manolo, if I could live like Manolo, just that sense of in the moment, in understanding, you know, to live. Yeah. Shit, man, most people can't even do that.
Exactly.
Right? Or else the pharmaceutical companies wouldn't be making people for depression, anxiety.
Exactly.
And so Manolo, to me, is kind of like the philosopher, you know, like he doesn't need to sit there and, you know.
Yeah, and a lot of people always ask me, like, how close am I to the Manolo character? Like I want to say 80%, you know? Mm-hmm. And the other 20% is the 20% that I'm lacking of Manolo. That's what I wish I had. I wish I could really be Manolo 100%, like you said, living like that.
I want to hang out
for
with
the
Manolo.
moment, and you know. And it's like, but yeah, sometimes we get caught up in life, work, and everything. You know,
they drown in the glass of water.
Exactly.
And George is, in at least the character in the show, he's just caught up in all kinds of drama, whether it's dating a real estate agent who's kind of pimping him, you know. She's got the logo, right?
And and they're all real life stories. It's all real stuff that's happened to George.
Wow.
Yeah, like George was telling me sometimes, was in the middle of the night, I'll get an idea and I'll write it down right away and I'll email it to the guys, or if to the writers, or if I'm out and about in the daytime and I get an idea, he'll call them right away. Hey, this and this and that. So they're just all real stuff that's happening.
Yeah. Which makes being a celebrity maybe not so admirable. I mean, it's fame brings drama, right?
Yeah, I guess it goes with the territory. And it goes back to like, be careful what you wish for.
Have you encountered anything like that where you're just like, man, this person's either cyber stalking me, or,
I don't know. Sometimes, but yeah, no, I've experienced a couple of things like that, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, like, I don't let it bother me, it's like, I just, like, sometimes I don't understand how people can be, but it is what it is, and everybody's, their own person, so, but, like, there's a whole bunch of people that really, really support the movement.
Yeah.
And what we're doing and what I'm doing with their,
Well, yeah, and even I like the fact that it's kind of like, in certain shows, sometimes the places where people eat kind of become like the hub, right?
Exactly.
For, people to have real conversations.
Right.
And La Azteca, is that a real restaurant?
That's actually a real restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah, their hours are like really weird hours, like early morning hours, but they got people there having breakfast like at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah, they're like full-blown breakfast. Like their food it's out the chain. I'm not even going to lie.
Cholesterol level go up to the roof though, right?
I mean, that's the only problem there. But other than that, man, if you're on a binge one day or you're on a cheat day, man, that's the day. That's the place to go.
Yeah, and you've changed a lot, right? I mean, you dropped some weight, right?
Yeah.
What were you? What was your highest?
I was like, my highest, I want to say like maybe like 450, maybe.
Damn.
Close to 500. Yeah.
That was just good living?
Good living, yeah.
Too much good living.
And probably being depressed or something. I don't know. But yeah.
Tortillas are good.
The tortillas, man. But the minute I stopped eating tortillas and soda, because I used to drink like a 2-liter of Coke a day.
Damn.
Yeah, I was really bad. So, the minute I stopped drinking soda and tortillas and a lot of bread, started doing more walking, like 20, 30 minutes a day of walking, and that just brought me down.
Yeah. Well, let me show you. If it comes up a little pixelated right now, people will be able to see this at home. So this, who is this guy?
Yeah, there's the Secretary of Defense right there.
The Secretary
from the movie Idiocracy, brought to you by Mike Judge.
Is that American Sign Language that he's doing?
Yeah, that pretty much seems to be the future right there, I guess. So that's what's going on nowadays.
And was this when you were like towards your heaviest, or?
That was, yeah. And I think, you know what? Actually, I got a little bit heavier after that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right there, I want to say I was like maybe like 400, maybe.
400.
And then I went up to like almost close to 5. I was like at 480, I think, probably my highest, really.
Was that your real hair or was that a wig?
No, that was just a wig.
Okay.
Yeah, they sent me to the wig shop.
Yeah,
they got my measurement. They took, they did a whole thing, trying to match like what I would look like with hair.
So yeah, that's a classic character from Idiocracy, right?
Yeah, man. The only movie that turned into a documentary.
And we have this one here too. This is from
Harsh Times.
Harsh Times.
Yeah, Harsh Times. That I played the role of Casper with Christian Bale and Freddie Rodriguez and Eva Longoria. And that was directed and written by David Ayer, the guy that did Training Day, that wrote Training Day.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good. It was good, man.
It was pretty. You know what made it really legit was that the numbers on the mailbox.
Right.
To me, that totally reminded me, right, of growing up. They have it on the fence because don't come to the house.
Exactly. Just leave whatever you're going to leave right there.
Especially if you're from the government. You don't need to come to our door. You can just leave it on the fence.
Yeah, and then that was a real pad right there in Lincoln Heights.
No, and you grew up in local, right?
Yeah, I grew up in Boyle Heights, East Los, and but we were filming that day right there in Lincoln Heights, so
yeah, that's
not so far from the hood.
Well, it's about 30 to 45 minutes from here, Boyle Heights, but it's due to LA traffic, it's probably about an hour and a half. What was it like growing up in Boyle Heights?
I mean, growing up in Boyle Heights was, I guess like anybody growing up anywhere, you know, that's all you know. So it doesn't make a difference, you know, what's going on. But it was, I got a lot of, good child memories, you know, just hanging out on the streets, playing football, getting in trouble, you know.
But it was innocence, right? I mean, it wasn't.
Yeah, you know, it wasn't too bad. You know, I mean, when we got older, of course, you start doing stupid shit. You don't be just because of, you know, the people you hang out with. And,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to say that people get you caught up. Sometimes you just let yourself get caught up, you know. But it was good, man. I mean, we had good times, man. It's just a lot of good memories in East LA boys.
Yeah. Well, usually the ones that are always good sometimes hurt, right? The memories.
Yeah.
You know, making choices, and I guess barrios are everywhere the same. You know, just different locations.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. You know, anywhere you go, there's a hood. You know, so it's
Yeah.
it's the same thing. You know, just different scenarios.
Yeah,
you know, different scenery. That I mean,
selling raspados, on the streets.
Yeah, selling raspados, churros,
Yeah.
tamales, whatever.
Cheese that they make in the bathtub.
Right.
Hey, you're like, it smells like zest.
Or either that or patas.
But that's what it's like. What makes life, right, is all the things that maybe we growing up we didn't pay attention to, and maybe realize, that is like really bad right there. That's really gonna jack up my life. If I go down that road, we don't realize it because you're kind of there.
Because you're there at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, now if I look at shit like, man, I shouldn't, I shouldn't have did that. I wouldn't have been caught up. But then again, I always say too, everything happens for a reason though.
Yeah.
And I think like pretty much everybody's destiny is already written.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could alter it a little bit, but I think everybody's destiny is already written. You're going to do what you're going to do, but you have to go through certain things in life to get there.
Yeah. And for you got into music, you got into rap, right?
Yes.
How old were you when you got into it? And
when I started, because I used to be a big listener of heavy metal back in the days. I was rocker all the way, and then I was introduced to hip hop in the early breaking days. Like I want to say like 1980, 81, and then I really liked the whole breakdancing thing, so I got into the breakdancing thing, and then by the time I was like, I want to say 18, I started like trying to rap. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say I was rapping, but I was trying to rap. And I think I didn't start like really, really catching on to it, like really getting into like around maybe when I was about 20. Mm-hmm. And then from there, it just, we got picked up by a label. We put out our first single as Browntown. That was the name of the group. Mm-hmm. And then it just went on, and we did some tours, and we went to Japan and a couple little things.
How was Japan? How was that experience?
I loved it, man. Nobody wanted to come back, Everybody's like, man, when we were getting back on the plane, it was like, man, here we go, back to reality. Yeah. But no, it was lovely, man.
Because you go from being like a star, right, like a major, really.
Yeah, it was weird because I was really like my first time of being like just tripping out, like people coming up to me, like really, trying to take a picture and stuff like that. Because we had been doing stuff for like 2-3 years already, and it was like no big deal. And then that was when they really hit us out. We're out there in Japan. Mm-hmm. But we didn't know how big we were out there. We just thought we were going out there to do a regular show, Mm-hmm. And people were like really like hounding us down in the mall. We were in the mall and I'm tripping out,
You're the rock star, right?
Yeah, people were running up and giving me their babies, take a picture, take the babies back and roll out, And it was crazy, man. But people just running up like that, trying to take a picture left and right, And it was a good experience and it felt good, But we really didn't want to come back.
And then you guys became Browntown Looters?
And then we became Browntown Looters, and then, actually when we went to Japan, we were already Browntown Looters by then because we went like in 98.
Okay.
So we were already Browntown Looters right there, but before that, it was just Browntown until the whole thing with the riots came in and all that, we were out there in the looting, I mean, I guess I could say it now, right?
And the statute of limitations might have expired, so I think you're safe.
Yeah, so, I still have one of them cell phones.
You don't know how that ended up in your shopping cart, right? You're like, I was just walking.
Yeah, so that's how we got the name Looters, because we were out there in the Madre, and just...
for a movement, right? It was for the people.
It was, yeah, you know,
Social.
it was for the people. It wasn't even about Rodney King at that point no more, you know. It was just, it was just everybody wanted to go for, you know, for a free for all.
I'll take that for free, right?
Yeah, so it was. Yeah. But the next day they were confiscating everything. People were, I was seeing the cops were coming and people taking their couches out of their living room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some people came up on couches and everything. Yeah, the cops weren't messing around. 3 days later, man, they were taking everybody's shit away.
Yeah, because a lot of it was videoed. I mean, the news is there.
How you gonna run down the street with a big old couch and not get videotaped? Not, you know, so.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hide that. You can't put that under your bed. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And hide it. So, and now you're what, Pueblo Cafe?
Yeah, and then we in 2004 we went into Pueblo Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
We got a deal with a record label out of Mexico, but they're established here in the States as Balboa.
Mm-hmm.
But their main company is called Mozart in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So we signed that deal, and then we got another tour, you know, to go on tour and go on and promote the album in around 2004, and then. That's at the same time when I got the part for Idiocracy.
Okay.
And I went to audition, and I wasn't even trying to get that part. I was like, I wasn't worried about acting. Yeah, I was like, we're getting ready to go on tour. We got an album that's about to drop. We're doing all this media tour. We did we did a bunch of like all the Spanish media, you know, like Sábado Gigante and all the, you know, so I wasn't even worried about acting. And then I got called for that part, and then they go, yeah, you're gonna fly out to Texas for about a month. And then I was like, wait a minute, I started looking at the calendar and go, yeah, it's the same time that we're doing the release and going our first show here in LA and then taking it on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when that came through, and I wasn't gonna do it. And my boy, rest in peace, Brown Weddle, he told me, he goes, nah, you gotta do it, man. You gotta do. But I wasn't gonna go at all. Like I was like, nah, I ain't gonna do it, you know. And then I was nervous for that movie too. I was like, man, I ain't, you know, this is my first role.
Yeah, it was your first speaking
you know,
role.
I'm like, man, this shit ain't gonna work, man. You know, it's like I was like really scared, you know. And then I was focused on. I was telling the guys, I go, what about this? We're getting ready to go on tour. I don't want to let the whole crew down just because you know I got to go do a movie. And they're like, nah, just go do it. The tour can wait. And they talked to the record label, and the record label said, yeah, go do the movie, and we'll delay the release and the tour. You know, that's it. All right. So yeah. So if I wouldn't have went to do, I don't think I would be on Lopez right now, honestly.
Oh wow, because that really got your foot in the door.
Yeah, that got my foot in the door with Mike Judge, and then from there I met John, his partner. You know, and that's all. Yeah, we did Silicon Valley into Lopez right now.
Yeah, and Mexico is interesting because I probably about 3 weeks ago I had two barbers from Monterrey, Mexico. They were here, and you know I didn't imagine what was, you know, going on over there. And they're very much also into culture in California, Southern California, Los Angeles culture.
Yeah, no, they're really in tune.
They're
really in tune to what's going on over here with Latino culture and stuff and Los Angeles culture in general, you know?
Because Pueblo Cafe, I mean, it's all Spanish.
Yeah.
Spanish, but it's not, from listening to it, it has a mix of kind of like, I hate to say it, but Latin rhythms, but maybe like salsa music, a little bit of hip hop mixed in. But it doesn't sound like, you know, I know you don't drink beer, but there's flavored beer there's beer that tastes like they added.
I'll have a beer if I'm really thirsty. I'll have a beer.
I would have got this. But then there's beer that's made with, you know, strawberries. And you're like, it's not strawberry flavored beer. It's actually beer. And I think that the Pueblo Cafe, it has that where it's its own. It's not like you put a bunch of things together. It has its own. I mean, you can't be like, he literally tried to mix these two sounds and make it, you know, to be Spanish, because that's what you categorize it at, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just Spanish rap, Spanish hip hop, whatever, you know, people call. I just call it Spanish rap. You know? But it's just what it is that we don't care what it sounds like as long as we're feeling it and it sounds right, you know. Like we're not really looking for a certain sound. Like, damn, we need a sound like this or we need a sound like that. Like we're just trying to do music. If it sounds good to us, that's it, you know, and in hopes that the people will feel it, you know. And we've had the you know, the blessings of having it on a lot of my projects that I've been on in music, you know. As far, I mean, as an actor, I've been able to get my music in there, so So that's been a blessing, you know, and people have taken a liking to it, you know. They find us on iTunes, on Amazon and all that, and they download our stuff. And I'm really grateful for that, you know. Appreciate all the love on that. But, you know, is that we never really try to find a certain sound. We just come with whatever sounds right, you know. And you know, I love cumbias. So we've done cumbia songs and we'll mix it up with hip hop, you know. So and then we got those West Coast bangers, you know, whatever, you know, it's just basically whatever sounds right.
Yeah. And I think that's the hard part is some people, they try to sound like something. I mean, you even have it tatted on your forearms, right?
Yeah.
Pueblo Café, if you could show it to the camera so people can see that. You see that, you're like, man, that's just a banner right there. And matter of fact, I do have an image of you. Looks like you're rapping right there, right?
Yeah, that was from my boy Dazzler. He's a rapper from Chile that lives here in LA, and he has a song called Sin Trabajo. You know, pretty much unemployed. You know, and the whole thing is that we're rappers, but we're still trying to find 9 to 5s, and you know, so we go around trying to do all these odd jobs and whatever, you know, and that's the name of that song, Sin Trabajo, from my boy Dazzler. And I dropped a little 16-bar verse on there.
Yeah, you know, and I see this guy here, and I think to myself, you mentioned earlier, you said destiny, right? That life sometimes, and you didn't have control, right? You didn't have control of where you grew up at.
No, exactly.
You didn't sit there and go, you know, I want to be in Boyle Heights and I want to live a innocent life and then get really jacked up later. And then go through all this shit in life and bumps and bruises to be, you know, this guy here in Idiocracy, and then to be a rapper. You know, that's the goodness of life. And, and maybe that's part of Manolo. That's part of the character that you bring, because a writer can't put words in your mouth that don't fit.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he can't have you be some of the other characters. They can't use the same script.
Right.
There has to be, like you said, some truth to where you see it.
Yeah.
You see it in your face. You see it in your eyes. Even when you smile, I think, you know, that smile that you make and you show the camera your trademark, you know, it kind of shows me like that's really deep down. You know, there's that, you know, the tough, rough exterior.
Yeah.
You know, I think even for me, you know, why create Gentleman's Avenue? To me, it's because life isn't always gentle.
Right.
You know, sometimes we learn bad habits, how to handle things, maybe not the right way.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, whether, you know, social media or whatever you want to tell people. I'm sure just like for you, I mean, have you had any bad experiences when you're as an actor where you're just like, man, you bit your tongue so hard, you just cracked the tooth?
Yeah, no, there's been a few, man.
And that's changed,
There's
right?
been a few, yeah.
What's been your best experience as an actor?
As an actor, my best experience, I want to say, is working with George. This has been by far, you know, I mean, I've worked with a lot of great actors, you know, and hung out with some good peoples, man, but working with George, you know, and then the whole cast, you know, it's just, everybody's hella cool, and it's just, it's crazy, man. It's just like family. Like, it feels like that. Like, when we came back for season 2, that's what it felt like. Like, so, when you go back and you see your family, you haven't seen it in a minute, that's how it felt like.
And like having a big barbecue and you're sitting on a Sunday. And so then George isn't like Eric Estrada to you. He actually, he lived up to what you thought. You know. Yeah,
exactly, yeah. Like, pretty much, you know, like, with George, you know, it's like, George just, there's no filters. You know, what you see is what you get. And that's exactly what I expected from him before I met him, and that's exactly who he is. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just like one of the greatest experiences of my life.
And I think he carries himself like from just one of his hashtags, chingon.
Yeah.
Right? You know, which means badass.
Badass, because he don't care what anybody thinks or what anybody says. Yeah. You know, he's just George. He just, you know, he says what he wants, but he also knows what he says, though, you know, and...
But he's earned them. He's earned those stripes. You know what I mean? He didn't just come off, you know, he wasn't a YouTube sensation.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't an overnight thing. No, you know? And he didn't come up by talking shit to nobody. He's really actually funny.
Yeah.
He's a funny dude, makes comedy, you know, so it's not like, like he's forcing anybody or anything to do anything.
No, and that's good. It's good to see that, you know, somebody who's legit like yourself that actually got into a good project with, that looks like it's going to have a longevity. It's not something where I'm like, I mean, unless the writing tanks in season 3, 4, 5, to me is like, there's so much because it's not a reality show, but it has that.
But it has
sense.
that feel.
Yeah.
It has that feel because you kind of like get in, that show kind of brings people in to George's world. And in a sense, pretty much what you see right there is pretty much what it is.
But I got interested in Manolo because when I saw your poor mom that couldn't see you in jail because George was sitting there.
Took up all the time.
Yeah. I sat there and I thought, I think it's like those characters that you see that you're like, there's probably more to them.
Yeah.
Than just, basically bringing George down from the clouds. When every time George gets spun and takes off, that Manolo just kind of brings him down to earth.
Yeah, that's basically what my job is. Just bring them down, and keep them grounded, and trying to help them make some rational decisions,
And I think it's not even to get all like mythical here, but even your character, a driver, you get him from point A to point B.
Exactly.
And maybe even in the journey in his character, getting them from point A to point B, because sometimes it gets caught up, It
gets foggy.
It's complicated. And you have other projects, right? You have other projects you're working on.
Right now, I'm working with this other cat, comedian Momo Rodriguez. We're doing we're not sure exactly what it's going to be for, is it going to be a series but we're trying to make it a series, but we're not exactly sure where it's going, but it's called Tons of Anarchy, so it's going to be comedy, yeah.
Oh, Tons of Anarchy. That title sounds kind of familiar.
It's one of those movies.
So instead of what do they have in the back? Is it the Green Reaper?
Yeah.
Maybe a elote guy or something,
No, they got like some big old dude on a motorcycle on a Harley. Because that's the whole comedy of it. It's Tons of Anarchy, but literally all these guys are huge.
Yeah.
Everybody's big.
I guess it gives a new meaning to hogs, right?
Right.
And so you have that going. What else you got going on?
And then just trying to finish up a video and a song for that we did for Lopez. That's going to be on, I believe, episode 6.
Okay.
So it's called Toda la Noche, and we're trying to finish that up so we can release it with a video and everything. We got Lunel in there.
Okay.
The comedian Lunel, she's in there too. So.
And then your 5150, what your association with 5150 brand?
Yeah, I'm one of the partners for 5150 brand, and of course, shout out to my boy Robert and George and Robert are the main partners. And I came in as a partner in there too, so we're trying to push this brand out there and just trying to see what we how far we can take this and lace everybody up with something, with the meaning of 5150. It's not just about being crazy and and doing all kinds of dumb shit.
Because 5150 is is it the penal code or what is it?
Yeah, it's like the I guess the medical code or. Yeah,
is it's some sort of legal code for
for
put them away and lock them up. It's crazy, right?
Yeah,
which I think Eddie Van Halen also.
Yeah, they had their album, and Eddie Van Halen seen it because George was showed it to him and he was like, man, I wish I would have thought of writing it out like that. He loved it. He goes, man, that's nice.
So you're not only a rapper, an actor. And are you a producer also of music, an engineer?
I used to be an engineer. I used to do audio engineer, and I did that for a long time. Even when we were doing all these other stuff, all these other projects, I had my studio, so we were getting a lot of groups, and I'd cut their albums for them.
So I mean, you've worked. I mean, you've put your hands in anything that interested you, and you worked your way up. I mean, you just didn't get a handout from these creators. I mean, you put your time.
It took time, It took time. They had a big part in helping me get where I'm at so far. But it took time though. We had to just. It's like Emilio Rivera said one time. He goes, you just never know when they're going to call your number.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they'll call your number. You're next.
Yeah, you got
to stay on the grind. That's it.
You learn from each thing. Each thing brought probably different lessons to learn or different. You have to have a lot of ganas.
You live and you learn. Yeah. Every day you live and you learn, I don't care how old you are, you're going to learn something new every day. That's it.
And what I did learn probably about an hour ago, and you didn't mention it, so I'm not sure if this is outing you, but that John Travolta was a musical influence on you as a child.
And was musical and actor.
An actor, because he was double threat, right?
Yeah, when they did Saturday Night Fever, I was like, man, I kept telling my mom, I think I was like 10 years old, and I kept telling my mom, hey, you gotta take me to go see that movie. They kept bugging her for like 2 weeks. She finally took me to go see the movie.
But he looked Hispanic. I didn't know he was. I thought he was Hispanic.
At that time, I didn't even know what an Italian was. I didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Travolta
to me, I just thought everybody was Mexican. So it was like it was crazy. But and then of course when Grease came out, made my mom go buy me the album too.
He looked even more Mexican in Grease.
Yeah,
I was like, no, this guy is Mexican.
The hair back and everything.
Yeah. I grew a fascination with Olivia Newton-John. I think I bought her 45 at Kmart as a kid.
Yeah.
Let's get physical.
Yeah.
It's kind of softcore porn there. But,
the video was great.
So, do you have a website, social media?
Right now, just the website is being worked on, but it'll be bigcitric.com. It's under construction right now, and also all my media, social media is all big at Big Citric.
Okay.
BigCatoric. Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram,
Okay.
and on Facebook. People will find me, but
Yeah. And the Lopez Show, season 2 is airing right now. You can also find season 1. It's on TV Land, on demand.
On the TV Land app, and season 2 is on right now. Every Wednesdays at 10:30 p.m. on TV Land.
All right, so you have tons of projects, and be on the lookout for. Weren't you releasing a certain line with 5150?
Yeah, we also got the Looters Worldwide that we're doing, and then we're doing another one with its Cynical Productions. So yeah, we got a couple projects, and clothing lines at the same time that we're pulling out.
Okay. So everybody, make sure you check them out, and I'd like to thank you for carving out some time of your Sunday.
Thank you.
And joining us here for a bit. And so we can discuss, your career, your accomplishments. I mean, I'm just blessed, man, that you're here and that you're able to share with our audience, the journey, because it's real, man. It's not something that, especially nowadays, people just think you become Insta famous.
Yeah, no.
It's, and you're a real person. And I think that that's something that, hopefully continues to propel your career and get you the roles and projects that you need, and I wish you the best, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I'm happy to be here. Anytime I could, come through and chop it up. I'm always with it. So thank you for having me. Also,
I mean, we're in a garage, for God's sakes. I mean, this
is a dope setup, though, man.
I told my girlfriend. I said, well, we were discussing earlier that Willie G will be here singing, performing, and I said, you know what, babe, we're gonna have to dance out in the garage,
right?
Just like the parties.
You might as well take advantage of that.
Cheek to cheek,
set up a little dance with them, man.
A little bit of dirt on the ground,
right?
But so thank you, Citric, for joining us. Make sure you check them out on social media. Also, you can find us on gentlemansavenue.com/the LodgeCast. On Twitter, you can find us at the LodgeCast. Instagram, LodgeCast. So until next time, be well, my friends.